Well, the Minister for National Defense, Bill Blair, joins us right now. Minister, thank you for being here.
Of course, Michael. Good to have an opportunity to speak.
Listen, I wonder, as we begin this conversation, just how different Cyber Command will be from the way things are currently as things currently happen at D&D, and whether or not it actually addresses any gaps that you think exist in the forces.
Well, I think what it does is really well positions us well for the future. You know, there's been some extraordinary work on signals intelligence and other cyber-related matters that have been taking place at Canadian Forces Station Leitrim over a number of years. But by standing up the Cyber Command that we did today, under the leadership of General Yarker, I think really gives us an opportunity to bring a lot of those disparate parts together. I think it'll improve the collaboration that exists already between our CF cyber group and the communications security establishment. And at the same time, we also know that the threat and the risk that we face with respect to the cyber environment, we know the rather aggressive activities of some of our adversaries, the hostile activities of state actors and their proxies, remains a constant challenge to our government and to all Western democracies. And so we're reorganizing ourselves in a way that's just very consistent with the way our allies have done it. I think Canada already has, I believe, an extraordinary capability, but this gives us an opportunity to build on it even further.
Build on it. So primarily, is this a defensive stance, or are you also looking at an offensive stance with this Cyber Command?
Well, and quite frankly, our new Cyber Command will have the opportunity to engage in both activities. I think our primary responsibility is defense of Canada's national interests and our critical infrastructure, and they do some exceptional work there and will continue to build on our capabilities. But we also know that offensive operations are also a necessary part of deterring some of our adversaries and in some of the activities that they're engaged in. And so we have some capability in that, and we're building upon it.
Okay, so walk us through where this actually fits into the D&D structure. Does this become like a new branch of the armed forces, like the Army, Navy, or Air Force, or some specialized force within D&D?
Well, it is a specialized force within D&D, but we have stood up a new command, and I think that it identifies the significance and the importance that we place upon the actions of our Canadian Armed Forces as they deal with cyber threats. The new Cyber Command is going to increase its capability, bring greater coordination, and they support the activities of our Air Force, our Navy, and our Army, as well as our new Space Force. And so, you know, we know that all of those units of the Canadian Armed Forces rely on digital systems and services and data in order to do the important work in command control systems and weapons systems, in their situational awareness and their intelligence gathering. All of that will now be coordinated through a single command, our new CAF Cyber Command, and they'll provide support to all branches of our service.
Okay, you know, you referenced the Canadian Security Establishment earlier, and for people who don't realize, that is essentially what specializes in government, in security and intelligence, in regards to cybersecurity and cyber operations as they affect Canada. How does that actually fit with CSE?
Yeah, I think the alignment is absolutely appropriate and necessary. There's a strong coordination between all of the cyber activities of the Canadian Armed Forces in all branches of our service, and the very important work that CSE does on behalf of the Government of Canada. The standing up of the new command today under General Yarker's leadership, I think is going to give us a real opportunity to bring a greater collaboration and coordination between the really important work that CAF does in cyber defense, as well as what CSE does under Chief Xavier's important work. I think we've got great teams in both places. I will also tell you, because I have a lot of conversations with our allies in the Five Eyes and in the Indo-Pacific and through NATO, there is a general acknowledgement of the excellent work and the capability of the Canadian Armed Forces and CSE, and so we're going to continue to build upon that. And I know that work is done collaboratively with our Five Eyes and NATO partners, and it's important work that they do. You know, in the current environment, you know, we see a lot of asymmetrical threats and frankly, some very hostile activities being undertaken by some of our adversaries. I'd note in particular Russia and China. And so it's very important, if we're going to defend our national interests and make sure that the Canadian Armed Forces can operate effectively, efficiently, and without interference, that the work that the CAF, Cyber Command, and CSC, the work that they're going to do together is going to protect Canadian interest, and we're going to be investing. Our government's investing very significantly through our new defense policy update, R&R Strong in 3, in standing up that new Cyber Command and investing in it. And there's also very significant investments that we have to make, because we have all become far more reliant on digital systems, digital communications, and making sure that we protect those systems against the activities and actions of our adversaries is critical to our success and the security of Canada going forward.
I have quickly running time, but I do have two more questions here. You use the word cooperation with Canadian Forces and CSE, but does one supersede the other? Will one supersede the other?
No, they work very much in collaboration. It's part of the team. And I think the CAF Cyber Command and CSE, they both have very disparate but important and related functions. They're going to work side by side, and I think that the sum of the parts will exceed the individual parts. There's a great synergy between both activities, and I think there's remarkable excellence in both locations.
Will you have to recruit the expertise, though? Does this create another recruitment challenge for Canadian Forces?
Well, interestingly enough, certainly at CSE, I'll speak to that. They've been really going out and looking for the talent and the expertise that we need in order to advance Canada's national interests for the communications security establishment. They've actually been, I think, having a remarkable success in recruiting the talent that we need in Canada to do this job. The work is exciting, and the work is cutting edge, and I think it is attracting an extraordinary workforce. And so there are always challenges to make sure that we get the people and skills that we need. But I think particularly in the digital realm and issues around cyber, Canadian innovators and creative people in academia are responding remarkably, and I'm very confident we'll be able to get the people that we need to do the job.
Minister Bill Blair, thank you for the time.
Of course, Michael.